Hey there, Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, Gemini Rising. Welcome to the reading for November 14th through the 20th. The thing I'm seeing is so I'm seeing two things actually. I'm seeing a great blue herring and I'm seeing a kingfisher. Both of them just sitting there patiently waiting for the fish to come by. So they're like really focused on what's going by, waiting for the opportunity to get what it is they want. So I think that there's an opportunity that's coming to you. There is a need, I think, to have a little patience and trust that that is happening. And I think you're like, but when? When? It feels like nothing's moving. When is this going to happen kind of energy? So patience is required. I think this has to do with the fact that we have Mars in retrograde in your sign, and then so everything is going backwards and feels really slow. And so if you're kind of looking for a time frame where I think things start moving forward, I say the middle of January. Because in January, Mercury, which rules your sign, will be direct on the 18th. And Mars, which is hanging out in your sign, will be direct on the 13th. And so if you're looking for the when, I think that's the time frame, but what you can do now is get ready for it. So this patiently waiting, this focusing on what you need to do, and building the structure for it to have a nice solid foundation to reside in whatever this big change is that you're looking to make. Because I could tell that there's a big dream, and it just feels like it's like a little exhausting having to wait, and it is exhausting when Mars is in retrograde in your sign. You're just probably very physically exhausted, and that is to be expected at this time. And so don't worry about that. It's hard to say that, right? When you have things you want to do, I just want to say that would be a normal actual effect of this energy, and if that helps you to at least not be upset with yourself because you're feeling a little sluggish and a little slow, and like your brain's not working at the high speed it's used to, that would be to be expected. On the 13th of December, Mercury is going to move into its shadow. And so I don't really think that things are going to get up to speed until the middle of January for you, the end of January. All right, so hang in there. All right, so let's take a look at what's going on for this week. I did a video called The Transformative Choices, and it premieres on 7:30 p.m. on Sundays. And so 7:30 p.m. on the 13th, I actually pulled cards for each of the signs about these doorways of opportunities. This is a week of a lot of choice and a lot of opportunities. It is going to be important, as exhausted as you are, to step through a doorway this week, to make some kind of movement forward. And so I want to say it's like the tortoise and the hare. Go ahead and be the tortoise. Slow and steady will win the race. And so there is some kind of a choice, some kind of a decision, not one that you rush into, but it's like these doors are opening randomly and they don't stay open very long. And so there is a decision either to stay on this side and not make any choice or decision, or to focus intently on the door that you want to open. And so being prepared for when that door opens so you're ready to step through. Okay, so just really looking, I think it's important if you know exactly kind of what you want, and it's exactly kind of, right? But that's kind of the energy we're in. And so it's like, I know I want to make a change in this area, and I have some parameters about which this change would be desirable. But that's not so specific that you can't see the opportunity and be willing to be a little adaptable and a little adjustable, because once you step through one door, other doorways will open, and so you're not stuck with that one thing, but it does open other opportunities to you. And so this week, you have here for your overall energy this Page of Wands. And he is moving forward, but he looks not as enthusiastic about the choice to move forward, and it comes with this Wheel of Fortune. And so he's not moving quickly, but he's moving. And he looks like he's bundled up against the wind. And so it's almost as though you might feel like you're moving into a headwind. I don't know that he's not happy about the choice, but he may not like what he's leaving behind. because in the background we have somebody there. And I think that, you know, there's a disappointment, there's a sense of loss or regret, and yet there's a willingness to step out onto the path. But I do feel like you feel like you're in a headwind, and that, you know, you're kind of gotta to move forward slowly, but the wheel is turning, and it is turning in your favor. I really believe that. And so because you guys have been moving through this integration process, and now you're getting ready to move into the area of action. And so I think it starts getting up to speed in mid-January, and I think by the time you get into May, June of next year, you find things really start moving. So I think by the time the sun makes its way back to Gemini, whether you're sun, moon, or rising, you will feel that, and it has a lot more to do with what the North Node is doing than the Sun. But that's just about when the North Node starts to move into Aries, which fires you up and excites you, and it starts really, really lighting the way forward. So if you're looking for time frames, they're there, because here we have the Emperor, and he's got that Ram there, and the Ram is sitting, right? He's sitting right now. And so in the heart space, it feels like everything's like not moving. Status quo. That's what it feels like. And I could tell that that is annoying to you. I could see it here, and just, you know, in general. So here in what's draining your energies is there is the Seven of Pentacles. Now he has harvested one. I think he thought that more things would be ready by now, but as he's looking around, he's like, I got this one anyway. And so I think it is important to recognize what you do have. I think that there is this sense of, well, I'm going to sit here until the opportunity comes up, but he's moving toward this other one that's here on the ground. I think you pick those up. I think you have two. And in the heart space here, we've got this juggling act of this Two of Pentacles as we work our way through the week, where you are moving slowly toward that ship that's going to move you forward. And it's this juggling act of joy and work, and keeping everything in balance. And so whatever this is, this situation that feels a little stuck and stagnant, where you want to make a change. So whether this is in a job situation, in a relationship, maybe a friends group that doesn't quite fit right, maybe co-workers that are, you know, you're hoping for a job transfer because you just want out of there, or you're looking for a promotion because you're ready for it, and yet it hasn't opened up yet. It could be something like that. It could be an intimate partnership that is needing a little bit of adjusting and realigning here. So in the area of seeking knowledge and information, we've got this Nine of Wands, and this Nine of Wands, look, these two people are really close together, and they're giving each other the side eye, kind of like you're crowding me over here, and I'm not really comfortable with you breathing down my neck. Kind of energy is what this feels like. I do get different energy off of this card every time. It's really fun. So they look like they're pretty close together, and one of them is more wounded than the other one. The other one feels like he's very dominant, but the way they're looking at each other is kind of nasty. And so we go from this 9 to the 10 in this reading. And so I think this energy of wherever you've been feeling like you've been bullied a little, you've been oppressed a little, you feel very oppressed here. I think that you drop the wands and you're like, you know what? I want this one. This one has some green on it. You know, I pick this one, and then I think you wrap yourself up and you start heading off. And I think there is a sense of, I put a lot of effort into whatever this is, right? Whatever that situation is, I put an awful lot of effort and time and resources and energy into this, and I didn't get as much out of it as I thought. And I really thought that this was going to be more exciting and more of an adventure, and that this would be constantly interesting to me, because here in the area of the obstacle to overcome, we have the Ace of Wands. And I feel like slowly but surely you feel like you've been made to feel small and crushed. And so this spark will get lit again, but there is a need to start moving forward. And you can't just race forward. There is no Knight of Swords here, but I feel this energy of this straining at the lead, wanting to be set free, and you're not quite there. How do you transform this situation? You have the Sun, and in this Sun we've got two energies. One is a divine feminine, one's a divine masculine. And the divine feminine is trying to move forward, and the divine masculine is pulling her backwards. Very much like this emperor energy. The divine feminine is a receptive energy. Be open to receiving what's coming into you from spirit. The actions you take are going to feel like you're being pulled backwards. And so it's that slow, steady moving forward. The tortoise is going to win this race. And so, and the wind is blowing. I can see the struggle. Be careful about trying to overthink this. Be careful about trying to outmaneuver someone by being so clever and being sneaky and underhanded and manipulative. Because with Mercury still hanging out in Mars for the first part of the week, there's still a little bit of manipulative overthinking going on. And I think it could really literally trip you up. Because the action to take here, we've got the Seven of Swords, and in the Seven of Swords, this is creative, out-of-the-box thinking, to problem solve, to stop a problem before it gets too big. So, like, the guy goes in and he steals the swords, from the opposing party, and so then they don't, they can't go battle. But here, he's about to step into a trap where he can get tripped up. So be careful in how you maneuver. Again, slow and steady is going to win this race. Keep everything in balance. We have here in the area of resources, we have the Three of Wands. And in this Three of Wands, he has set this bird of prey free. So this tells me that what you seek, you will receive, right? There is a setting free, being able to go and get what you want. But again, he just released the bird of prey. So the bird's going to have to go out. It's going to have to hunt. It's going to have to find something, kill it, and bring it back. And there's a patience, again, that's required. The kingfisher patiently waiting for the fish to go by. The blue heron waiting for the fish to go by. And the fish is prosperity. The fish could also be peace. So whatever it is that you are seeking here, there's an act of releasing the timing to spirit, like releasing and letting go. Although there seems to be a kind of a timeline setting up for you, it is the patience that's going to be required and the focus and tension on the goal coming in. And so in the meantime, focusing on staying in balance, trying to find happiness and joy, and setting down the burden that is too much to carry, and resting. This is a time and a pause and resting when we're going through Scorpio into the winter season here in the Northern Hemisphere. And there is a pulling in of our energy. Here in the Southern Hemisphere, it's different. But because Scorpio is very much about the letting go and the transition of, and we came out of eclipses, which is about the letting go and the transition of, I think that's a pretty universal thing that is going on. So, in the overnight hours of Sunday and Monday, there's a grand water trine, and so pay attention to your dreams. You might find some really useful information coming through, and then the moon moves into Leo, and Leo is very great energy for you. Air feeds fire. I think it does help you to feel a little better. And by Wednesday, Venus moves into Sagittarius, which is, again, even though it opposes your sign, it's still kind of an optimistic energy that'll start coming through. You have the talking stick, and it comes with the shapeshifter. And then again, I see the Seven of Swords. So really what I'm getting from this is be careful. My mom was a Gemini. I understand that conversation is really fun, right? And saying things, but I want you to watch your words because they might trip you up. You might say the wrong thing at the wrong time. Things are still shape-shifting. Nothing is really set in stone. Those doors of opportunity are open and closing. If you do need to talk, it's one at a time, and it's listening more than speaking, right? You're going to gain more information there. I do think that you could think yourself into a problem, into a trap, or you could speak without pausing and end up tripping yourself up, which might cause what you've been working on to kind of tumble down around you. There is a release that has to let go during these gateways and with the eclipses, but it is in the release when you only have one wand that then you can begin to move forward. It's really hard to carry that whole big burden, right? And the obstacle has been maybe selecting the one wand. So the moon in Virgo, Thursday and Friday, there's a grand earth trine, which is really great to manifest the energy down in with, but there's a lot of other energies that are at play around it. So it is a time to try to manifest by creating a plan, putting it on paper, stating your intention, creating a mantra, whatever it is that really works for you. You have spirit in the sky, limitless possibility, and the sky bridge, possibility for union. This one's very meditative. Limitless possibility. Your sign is being squared by what's going on in Pisces with Neptune and Jupiter there, which is limitless possibility. And the sky bridge, possibility for union. There's a bridging. There's a bridging. That this talking stick, again, you could probably bridge. Things are shape-shifting. Nothing is set in stone yet. So if you're negotiating a contract, if you're trying to work something out with a significant other or a family member or a friends group, things are not set in stone. They're still shape-shifting. And so it is important that you don't try to be too clever because you could step into a trap. And so the more you're willing to listen, to sit there in the silence and let things happen, have the conversations, participate. But it is in listening to the other person that you're going to know what it is they really want. Then you can decide whether or not that is something you want to do. Unmet expectations is the biggest breakdown in any kind of relationship, whether it is a contract with work or, when you sign a contract to move into a home, or a relationship, any kind of a contract. Unmet expectations is the worst part. And so listening carefully so that you're understanding of what they want. It is better to understand what they want than for them to understand what you want. You have more power in the understanding. That's where the power lies. When you can understand the situation and see with clarity the totality of it, then you can make very clear decisions. And there's not a lot of decision-making clarity cards here. There's a lot of action cards here, and there's a trap here. And so I really think that you slowing your energy down, being really focused on what is being said so that you can understand what the other party wants. Then you can determine if what they want is in alignment with what you want, instead of creating a trap for yourself by speaking too fast. There is a possibility to bridge a gap, a distance, to come to some kind of an agreement. Again, whether you're negotiating for a sale of a car, or if you are trying to decide, is this relationship worth fighting for or not? Is this a job I want to continue at? Contract negotiations. There is something here. You have the possibility to create a union, but everything is shape-shifting, and you have limitless possibilities. There's so many doors opening. There's so many options. Okay, the spirit is really close to you. That moon, when it is in fellow air sign over the weekend of Libra, This is an opportunity to regain your balance. So you're very supported and connected in this. You know, in this heart space here, this Emperor could actually be your spirit guide sitting with you, bringing you the messages through your heart. The more you listen to your heart, the more you listen physically to other people. This is a week to really dial in and pay attention and listen. Cleverness and speaking too fast is a trap. It's a trap. Don't step into it. Okay. There's the message. All right. So I'm on Facebook every day. If you guys are still watching and haven't hit the thumbs up, I would certainly appreciate that. And I'd love to see you in the live chat for the video Transformative Choices. That comes out at 7:30 p.m. Sunday night, the 13th. There's just like 6 minutes of collective reading, and then we went right into the sign by sign because there was a lot of information that had to come out. So check out your sun, moon, and rising to see what the different gateways and opportunities are for you. The more information you have, I think the easier it is to make the appropriate choice for yourself. So I'd love to see you there. If you don't catch me live, it will be still out there for you to view. All right, you guys take really great care, okay? Don't step into any traps. I'll talk to you soon.